We just came through eclipse season, and what a perfect time to learn more about the moon. And you can't get a better resource than Stephen Forrest's Book of the Moon, available on audiobook narrated by me. A direct link is available on the homepage of hightimelinebooks.com, or you can go to Audible or Apple Books. TGI Friday, Thomas Miller on the October 4th Fun Astrology podcast. I wanted to thank you, those of you who were saying happy birthday earlier this week. Actually, this is confusing. It was confusing to me until I kind of got my whole brain around it, that my birthday is October 30th. But when you turn 65 in the United States, you get Medicare. That's the program that I've been paying into since I was 13 and started my first job at Baskin-Robbins in Tulsa, dipping ice cream. Well, it's time to dip out of some of that bucket, and I don't want to use it. Believe me, this is not like, oh, I'm going to rush out and go to all these. No. I just want the protection, the coverage, because when you put the whole package together, now it does cost every month, but the coverage is like I don't pay for anything. So yeah, my goal is to keep paying several $100s a month just to have it, but it's the best coverage once you do have it. And with a little thing still nagging me a little bit, although I've not had one issue with it all year, with everything I've been through. Not all year have I had an episode with my heart. But it's just good to know that if something happens, you got that good coverage. So that took place on Tuesday, on October 1st. That was the deal of this week. There might have been some confusion around that. Now we still have a big birthday to come up at the end. The other thing is I'm going to be traveling starting Saturday, so we're going to be on the road for a couple of weeks. Little multi-city personal getaway, taking care of some business too. I have things from a dentist appointment, and only one dentist in the world I go to for major stuff, and a memorial service for a longtime family friend. So all of that going to be happening over the next several weeks. We'll be back here, though, for the big birthday. All right, so for today, TGI Friday, the moon enters Scorpio at 7:22 this morning Eastern Time. That's going to shift the lunar energy away from the eclipse energy, which was in Libra. Now we have that Scorpio, deep, passionate, intense, and can be dark energy for the next several days. Moon stays in Scorpio until Sunday night, 7:34 p.m., when it enters Sagittarius. There's an interesting aside tomorrow, and I mentioned it earlier in the week, but at early 12:40 in the morning tomorrow, Mars enters its shadow period. Its retrograde does not begin until early December, so it's a long 2-month shadow. But Mars will be slowing down to eventually go backward in the sky, and that will take a little bit of Mars intensity away, bit by bit, slowly, ever so slow, but it will start happening on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we have kind of a completion of all these tense aspects that we've been talking about through the week. Mercury squares Mars on Sunday morning early, 2:30 in the morning Eastern Time. That's one to watch your communication. We talked about that earlier in the week, but that is a count to a gazillion before you react. Both of those planets are in signs they're not as happy being in. Mars does not like Cancer's emotional wateriness, and Mercury just left its own home of Virgo. Not bad in Libra, just not as happy as it was. Everything else that we talked about yesterday is still in play today. So I would say roll it forward, put the moon in Scorpio so you have that potential, conflict or at least depth and intensity over the next couple of days. And it will be crossing over Venus on its way through. That happens tomorrow afternoon, 2:30 Eastern. So we've talked about, you've got these little triggers happening around Venus. Just be careful around. And when we talk about relationships, that's any, not just your partner if you have one, that's really any kind of co-affiliated relationship. Boss, employee, landlord, tenant, caregiver, and then, of course, all of the things that you would expect, your family, your partner, your spouse, etc. We just have a few little signs, a few little indications that those of us who watch these things daily could say, that could be under a little bit of pressure. And then we talked about all those oppositions. Those are still mostly in play from yesterday. I would refer you back to there. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you from the road. Probably we'll have a couple of episodes done from home base, and then we'll be a little bit remote for the next several weeks. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great weekend. Back on Monday. Merriman tomorrow, expecting that as well. Thanks for listening.